round 12 and we're in Las Vegas. Marcus Nelson on pole from teammate Revo and fellow champion Sebastian Ocampo. Falstad starts 4th from Akari Lopez, best qualifying of the year. Then it's Daf Sanchez, Daniel Baltazar, Tommy, and Remy LeBeau. Then you've got Pablo Sierra starting 10th from Ina Babinas Jr. and Bastien Tan. 13th position is the Red Devil. Then you've got Zach Wallace, UK Ball up in 15th, Mohamed Awawi, and Anok Q. Then you've got Tenali Gabo down in 18th for the Italian. Then you've got Santino Milan, Ceylane, Pierre Gasly, and Leo in 22nd. Well then, back in the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas last season, this is where the title was crowned. All 5 lights go on. And we go green in the Sin City. Very good start for Marcus Nelson, covering off his teammate off the line. And that has allowed Sebastian Ocampo to go down the inside. And that move from Marcus Nelson might have just undermined his teammate's progress to try and keep himself in the top 2. Because currently Revo is now fighting with Ocampo over second. He's got clear air in front of him, unlike the white Andretti alongside him. And look at that, Revo to the race lead here in Las Vegas, ahead of fellow champions in Marcus Nelson and Sebastian Ocampo. Ocampo not being able to mount a challenge to the number 13 as they come through the chicane. They're side by side. 5-second time penalty for Tommy for causing a collision. Nelson back up into the race lead. He's trying to get his first race win of the season and on his return to the Formula E Monoposto Championship, as here they come through and now on to the Las Vegas Strip. Nelson leads, Revo second, Ocampo third, and Akari up in 4th. This is brilliant for the Aurelio Pinnacle driver. He's had a pretty terrible season, so a 4th currently in Vegas could be the highlight of the season. But look at that, Falstad further back, and it's all kicking off in the midfield as well. Look as if Ocampo could have tried to make a move, but instead it's Akari who is defending from Oscar Falstad here. They're going alongside each other, but Falstad giving up the 4th position, as we're going to see a potential return to how things were back in season 15. With a battle between the two Philippines, and out of the race, that's Santino Milan turning there, Leo, and he's gone upside down. I have never seen that happen in this championship before. I have never seen a driver get turned like that at such speeds, but it's a virtual safety car on lap 2 of 12. Nelson leads, Revo second, Ocampo third, and Akari 4th, Falstad 5th, and Tommy is 6th with a 5-second time penalty. And now, as we go back racing, Sims Motorsport Nissan. Well, we call them Sims Motorsport Nissan because of their close relationship with Nissan. They're down in 16th and 17th, and I have to say this right now, the vigor that we saw at the start last time out in Sao Paulo is gone today in Vegas. And for Revo, I think I know what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to make sure that Nelson can get his first race win. Because these two, great friends, great rivals, of course, they are teammates at DS Techeetah. I'm guessing that they're trying to just hold position. Falstad further back not doing that, because you can see there, they're going side by side, same with Ocampo on Revo. Revo without attack mode, a sitting duck as they now come through the W section, as Ocampo, who won the championship last season at this very location, up into second. We've only actually had 2 title deciders here in Vegas, Season 1 and Season 19. But as we now go on to lap 3 of 12, you can see Falstad up in 4th, and full course yellow again, and it's not going to be a first point score, unfortunately, for Zach Wallace. We're back under VSC. Tenali Gabo ran over his front wing. Bastien Tan's got himself a 5-second time penalty, and Zach Wallace, once again, out of this race. He might actually just take the record for longest career without scoring points. He's got the opportunity to try and do that as a record. It's a record that no driver wants, and it's a record that no driver should have as we now get back racing, but I think Wallace might be the one to do it, and that's not too good. But as I've said already, we go back racing on board with Remy LeBeau, following with the Red Devil, and the thing is, Sims has really been pushing Zach. They've been pushing the Italian rookie and it just looks as if it just hasn't been working. But here's something that does work: attack mode for Sebastian Ocampo, gaining on Marcus Nelson. He's been leading since turn 1 on lap 2, but he's got to give that up now. Sebastian Ocampo takes the lead in Las Vegas from the two DS Techeetah drivers as Tommy gets himself ahead of Akari Lopez. Pablo Sierra on the back of the Apex Pinnacle driver. Here he comes, looking to the inside through the final turn. Not quite able to do it yet. Tommy has decided to come into the pits. The undercut does seem quite powerful around most tracks this season, as there goes Sierra up into 5th position. No one decided to start this race on the hards. It's all mediums and softs, and in fact mostly softs out there, so the minority of the field decided to start this race on the mediums, so that can be interesting to see how they fare later on. But on board we go with Bogdasarov, looking for a way to get past Inet Babinis Jr. And Jr. with a lot less experience than Bogdasarov, who he's fighting with over 8th, but of course mentored by one of the greatest drivers to never win the World Drivers' Championship. Almost won it a few seasons ago. Here comes Akari Lopez trying to find his way past Pablo, but not quite able to do it. Further up ahead, look at this, Marcus Nelson. He's going to get attack mode. Revo has dropped off the back of the top 2. This is the fight for the lead. On lap 4 of 12, here he comes. Marcus Nelson, give him a round of applause. He's back up into 1st position here in Las Vegas. And if he does win this, it could be a race win that could see him slingshot himself into the championship hunt. As here comes Akari Lopez back ahead of Pablo Sierra in the number 77. Getting passed by the 10, as I think, yes, that is Nelson into the pits. Ocampo and Falstad all into the pits. Revo with a new fastest lap, as he now claims the race lead from Akari and Daf Sanchez. It almost feels as if we're back in season 17, the last real competitive season for the Aurelio Pinnacle outfit. But with 7 laps to go, we've got Revo still leading the field ahead of the other 20 drivers who are still in this, as man now down in 20th position after coming to the pits. That is Leo in the number 30. And he's going to be a long way away from the rest of the field, as Zay Lane fighting with Tenali Gabo. It's a rookie versus a driver who probably deserves a lot better machinery than what he's got, as there goes Babinis Jr. ahead of UK Ball, a champion who deserves much better machinery than what he's got. He won this race back in season 10, don't you forget, so he's got experience with victory. But the way that UK Ball's been driving, it just feels like he's been a ghost of himself in a lot of the recent races. He's barely gotten that many points. This does seem to be his worst season on record, as Toto Wolff would say, rolling that R. As here comes Remy LeBeau, another R, and he goes up into 4th position. And his teammate, the Red Devil, on the back of Daniel Bogdasarov, of course, Kiro Renault. Powered by Renault, as the name suggests. And they are looking to be a lot quicker than the factory Renault outfit, as in comes the top brass. Revo cutting off Akari Lopez there. That's arguably an unsafe release. As look at that, fight for the lead between Marcus Nelson and the Red Devil. There he goes, down the inside at turn 1 for Marcus Nelson. Tommy with a new fastest lap, a 128.183. And Ocampo is still behind that fluorescent yellow Kira race car, as UK Ball new fastest lap in 9th position. Revo came out of the pits, still in the top 10, thankfully, but oh dear, Marcus Nelson once again it's at half race distance at this time, but this man has no luck at all. He's been driving an amazing race, but at half race distance here in Vegas, he's rolled a midnight 12, and he's gotten himself a puncture. I don't know any gambling terms, because I don't gamble. I am very smart with my money. I spend it all on Beyblades. But look at him. He's dropping down the order. It's almost as if he's back driving the Season 2 Mahindra. That if you have any recollection of what it was like, you'd know it was an absolute dog everywhere on the track. But it's much worse here for Nelson. It's his first season back after a long time out, and every opportunity he's had to try and win a race has been squandered by something far out of his control. This time it was a puncture, and the last time he was in this position it was a puncture too. The Red Devil coming into the pits. Volstad's found his way up into second, thankfully through good tyre strategy, and yellows down in the third sector. We go back, and I think it might have just been a stray front wing being kicked up by another driver. Not too sure who it could have been. There we go. It's Akari Lopez who's lost his front wing. He's going to have to come into the pits as well, and for him, it's also another opportunity that gets to be absolutely squandered by seemingly something here, at the very least, which was his fault. As you can look at this, Bastien Tan looking to try and get past Pierre Gasly for 14th position. Tan with a 5-second time penalty. Almost contact there, because you've got Zay Lane right in front of these two, acting as a bit of a stopgap, and Bastien would probably prefer to do a double overtake here. He's still alongside Pierre, but he's on the outside. It's going to be 3 wide heading into this hard-braking left-hand turn. And somehow the 4 of them not making contact. This is the fight for 13th position between Zaylane, Bastien Tan, Enoch and Pierre Gasly. As the boys out in front spreading their wings quite a bit. Enoch looking for a way to get passes. There goes Bastien Tan up into 13th. You up to 14th. Lane still in 15th. Here comes Pierre Gasly. There goes Pierre Gasly. Almost, but the rookie still showing that while his car might not be great, he himself could be one of the future greatest drivers in this league. Tommy and Akari Lopez both coming in with only a handful of laps left to run. So this could be a double stopping race. And that could be of some solace for Marcus Nelson. And I think, oh dear, puncture for the Red Devil as well. As Marcus Nelson has 2 punctures here in the Nevada desert. And it's, once again, something that, well, you probably wouldn't have expected coming into this race. This is a track with really, really low tire wear, but still, I guess punctures can happen anywhere if you're not too careful. And I think it is just here a real delamination. Probably ran over Akari's front wing, and that just led to that all happening. But I think Sebastian Ocampo might come across to lap the Red Devil. Probably won't hit him or anything like that. Marcus Nelson coming across the line to start his lap 8, and yeah, here comes Ocampo. The Red Devil's certainly going to be a lap down, but he's not going to meet him on the track. Go on board, as yes, the Red Devil comes in and is a lap down. We've got 3 laps to go, and for Revo right now, he would need, not even just need, love to try and get past Volstad, just so he could try and close in on Ocampo. He's got the freshest tyres of all the top of 3, and at this point, if I'm in Revo's shoes, I would be managing my tyres so I can make it to the end of the race. But look at this, he's still going to make a pass, and does make the pass on Oscar Volstad up into 2nd position, ahead of the Norwegian number 4. Season 18 World Drivers Champion in Volstad, getting passed by the double season 17... Not 17-18, sorry, or is it 17-18? I'm stupid. Getting passed by the season 16 17 champion, sorry. I do forget a lot of things, obviously, because when you've got 20 seasons of your league, you're bound to forget some things along the way, as we look back with Volstad, and he's dropped off the back of Revo by literal miles, and I think Ocampo might want to try and come into the pits. So on board with the number 76 reigning drivers champion, and yes, that is Ocampo who will be coming into the pits by the time we begin lap number 10. And Volstad following him in. Revo will stay out with 2 more tours of this Las Vegas street track. Pablo Sierra finds his way up into 2nd position. But now the question is, oh, virtual safety car, it's Remy LeBeau! Oh, that's a massive shunt there for the Frenchman. And I think I saw his teammate right up close and personal with that collision, as well as Daniel Bogdasarov, but luckily for them, no contact made with the now stricken Kiro Renault car. But we're under virtual safety car. Drivers like Mohamed Nawawi, who's just come in, they're getting free stops. As we now go back racing, Revo leading with 2 laps to go. It's a lot closer for him, at least a lap and a half before he reaches lap 12 of 12, the final lap. And for Ocampo and Falstad, they know that pit stops here, they don't, if you do it under a virtual safety car, it costs basically nothing. If you do it under full racing speed, it can kill your race win. It's exactly what killed Revo's hopes of a 3rd championship last season. And he's once again hoping for a 3rd championship this season, is Revo. Ocampo is fighting for his 3rd. His 3rd is Bastian Tan. 5 seconds, and oh, that's a massive shunt! And that's contact with Sebastian Ocampo! He's got a puncture! 10-second time penalty for Bastian Tan. He's got damage, but not a lot of it. But massive championship implications for this man, the double champion from the Philippines. He's dropping down the order in the same fashion as Marcus Nelson. He's down to 13th. As Sierra, does Revo come in? Yes, he does. So Falstad has taken the lead from Bogdasarov. Revo coming out of the pits. He will be in 3rd. He will be on the podium. As Ocampo's day is over. He's not going to score points today. He's not going to win this race. Ocampo and Marcus Nelson, 2 potential championship protagonists, both have faced punctures today in Vegas. As in comes the white and black Andretti driver. And he's going to try and keep onto the soft tires. Revo now, he's 3 seconds off the race lead, but being held up by Bogdasarov and the Red Devil. Blue flags being waved for the number 99ers. Look at that. Using that opportunity perfectly. Revo up into 2nd position, and he now has to chase down Falstad. He's 4.1 seconds off the race lead, and he's going to need a lot to try and close that gap, but he is closing it down on the straights. The DS Cheetah car does seem to be very quick on the straights, and the turns is mainly where the issues lie for this car compared to the McLaren car, which is all right on the straights but shines through the corners, at least here. So as they now descend down the hill onto the final lap here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Oscar Falstad leading the field 1.4 seconds ahead of Revo, who is doing all he can to try and snatch the race win out of the Norwegian Championship leader's hands. This is Revo going for his 2nd win of the season to try and avenge that lost race win last time out in Sao Paulo, to try and avenge that lost race win that could have gone to Marcus Nelson today, to try and even avenge that lost race win for Sebastian Ocampo. He's 7/10 of a second back, 1.9 seconds away. He could try and take attack mode in going down the Las Vegas Strip, because you know how powerful attack mode is going down the strip, but he's not quite close enough to get it. He's 1.06 seconds back now, but he's not going to get it. No attack mode for Revo. This is likely to go to Oscar Falstad today for DS McLaren TGR. This team that was once known as Toyota Gazoo Racing decided to become the full McLaren outfit with backing from Toyota Gazoo Racing. As we now head down the hill, an extra lap would have helped Revo, but he's not going to get one more lap. It's going to go to Oscar Falstad, who wins in Las Vegas from Revo and the 2 Renault Edams drivers of Daniel Bogdasarov and Pablo Sierra. Tommy finishes this race in 5th position with Babinis Jr. in 6th. Then you've got Daf Sanchez in 7th, Tenali Gabo scoring points in 8th. Then you've got Inocu and Pierre Gasly in 10th, followed by teammate Cable, Akari Lopez. Imagine how much better his race could have gone without that busted front wing. He's 12th from Mohamed Awawi, Zaylane, Bastian Tan, And Sebastian Ocampo, Leo, Marcus Nelson, and the Red Devil. We saw 3 punctures today, and there's a likelihood that Leo also got a puncture. Either that or it was damage earlier on that we just didn't see. But for Marcus Nelson, that first race win of the season still eluding him. He's probably the best driver this season to not take home a race win, because every opportunity he's had, it's just gone wrong for something that wasn't even his fault. But this is the podium. Falstad taking a win from Revo, and Daniel Bogdasarov for Renault Edams. Brilliant stuff to have 3 different drivers on the podium from 3 different teams. But I think the fact that Falstad still managed to find a way to win this race is all the more impressive. Then you've got Pablo Sierra, Tommy, Babinas Jr. is still in 6th despite that 5-second time penalty. Then you've got Daf Sanchez, Tonali Gabo, Inokyu, and Pierre Gasly, the top 10. Following them is Cable, Akari Lopez, Mohamed Awawi, Zay Lane, Bastian Tan, Sebastian Ocampo, Leo, Marcus Nelson, and the Red Devil, who is a lap down. The non-finishes were Remy Lebeau, Zach Wallace, and Santino Milan. So in the driver's standings, Falstad leads the pack, 36 points ahead of Revo. Then is Daniel Bogdasarov, Sebastian Ocampo, Tommy, Marcus Nelson, Daf Sanchez, Pablo Sierra, Remy Lebeau, Arnett Babinas Jr., Bastian Tan, Inokyu, the Red Devil, Tonali Gabo, Cable, Santino Milan, Leo, Mohamed Awawi, Zay Lane, Pierre Gasly, and Akari Lopez, with still somehow after 12 races, Zach Wallace still hasn't scored any points. Embarrassing. In the constructors' standings, heading into the next round of the championship, DS Achita leading away from DS McLaren TGR. Then you've got Renault Edams, DS Andretti, DS Venturi Formula E Team, Kiro Renault, Nissan Nismo, Sims Motorsport Nissan, Braun Honda GP, Aurelio Pinnacle, and Mercedes EQ. We'll see you guys next time then when the Formula E Monopoly Championship returns.